Ashtavakragita, chapter 3, verse 12. With whom can we compare that great-souled one, contented with knowledge of the self, who is desireless even in disappointment? The sage is saying that the person who is knowledgeable will not oppose anything in this world. When there is disappointment, then it's just there. There is no wish to turn this disappointment into happiness. And it's also true the other way around. When there is happiness, there is no question of for how long this happiness would last, or will this happiness go away? Nothing of that sort. It's just there. Let us understand the actual meaning of this, and let's also see why the sage is giving this reference. And let's also see what is the contentment that the sage is talking about. The gist of this verse is to see, like, in our life, what are we giving importance to? Are we giving importance to the concepts of the happiness and disappointment? And are we running and fluctuating with these concepts, while the sage is saying that the most important thing in life is to know this contentment, the true contentment that we get with the knowledge of the self. And he is giving reference of this person, this great souled one, what the sage says has this great souled one who is desireless even in disappointment. And how is this person desireless even in disappointment? It is because of the knowledge of the self. Let's further simplify this. Okay, let us see practically what is this happiness and disappointment. To whom there is happiness and to whom there is a disappointment? Isn't it just the activity of the mind? Like, I might be seeing something as happiness, while for the other person it might be disappointment. At the same time, something which is disappointing to me might be a happiness to someone else, right? It's quite debatable, and whatever is changing is not true. The truth cannot be one for me and something for the other person, right? And to make it more simple, we can say that this is an activity of the mind. And what is mind related to? It is all related to the body, right? So, the person that the sage is referring to has understood this very clearly. And he has deepened this knowledge that all of this that occurs in front of me is all activities of the mind. And I am not giving any importance to all of this. We have discussed a lot and inquired a lot on how we are not just this body in the previous verses. And if you feel like revisiting them, I have attached the playlist link in the description where you can find all the verses. When we consider ourselves as a body, is when all these changes that we experience as happiness, pain, pleasure, disappointment is all present. But with the knowledge of the self, the person is liberated from all of this. This person doesn't give any importance to these things that keeps changing. And now we'll have to see one more important part, and which is very interesting. This person is neither renouncing nor getting attached to any of this. Why is that? When we give importance to something is where, there is an activity in the mind to say that, okay, I got to renounce this for me to attain something else. Right? At the same time, when I have to get to attach to something, where I give importance to something, is when I want to have that thing in my life more. So I got attached to it. So this person that the sage is referring to has neither of them. This is the actual nothingness in bliss that the sage is speaking about. This body is simply part of the nature. And in nature, we have all these activities of pleasure and pain. The sage is telling us, dear ones, inquire and see, are you just this nature? Then there arises a question, who am I? How can I know myself? The answer to this can be known only through the knowledge. And whenever sage says knowledge, it is the knowledge of the self, the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of consciousness. This person has understood all activities of the nature, and he has also understood how, by default, I give so much of importance to the happenings of the body. But now, with the knowledge of the self, I know who I am. I am no more getting caught with any of these activities. This is never ending. This knowing and this self-enquiry is the knowledge of the self. Here, to understand this and to really be in this journey of self-enquiry, we need to be frank with ourselves. We have seen this. It's not the first time that the sage is saying this, and we will have to, this is not a surprise to us, right? Like, we would have been quite disciplined, but we would have also seen how the mind keeps engaging us with some new concepts to keep us attracted, to keep us distracted. Because the ego wouldn't leave us free so easily. It's actually not the fight with the world. It's the fight with our ego eye if we need to see the truth. If we don't see this, then it's going to be a lifelong game of fluctuations, and we would keep getting caught with this if we don't inquire and get to the core of the truth. Only from this is when we will understand there is a place or there is an objective that is much more important than this disappointment and happiness. There's no need to get into this game of pain and pleasure. This is just for the body, and we have been playing this game for a long time. And to the person who is having this knowledge will not have any impact on the profit, the loss, happiness, disappointment, nothing. This drama of life is led with contentment. This drama of life is part of the nature, and it has its own order, and it's not going to stop. But the person who knows that this is a drama, who knows that this is nothing more than a drama, is the person who understands the mind, who understands the world and the relations that is carried on this mind and with the world. And this understanding will give us clarity. And this clarity will help us live a contented life. This clarity is the depth that is created within, which cannot be touched by any worldly fluctuations. And because of this, the person will not get attracted or distracted, neither get caught up nor renunciate the world. None of this game has any impact on this person. This is just a game, and from this game, neither we are getting something nor we are leaving anything. There's this clarity that whatever is needed is already there. What has been there before anything or anyone is something that this person with knowledge has understood. That's why there is desirelessness. That's the reason the sage is saying, with knowledge of the self, there'll be complete surrender. There'll be complete surrender with anything they do, with any actions that they perform. And all of this action is without any desire of getting or losing anything. Here, we need to observe that being spiritual doesn't mean that the person won't do anything and just keep filling the knowledge. No. With the real knowledge, the quality of the action is going to be so pure and blissful that any action that is done would be in the service of God. And while we are truly serving God, there is just service. There is no ego for any desire. Only there is God. So, with this knowledge of self, we get to know to whom there is desire. And also, we get to know whoever is desiring, who is that person? What is that entity that it is desiring? My existence is different than that. So, desire will be there, but that is not me. Once we truly see whoever is desiring is when we leave the responsibility to fulfill the desire to that entity which is desiring. I am not being utilized to fulfill anything in this game. It's not my responsibility. I am not getting caught in this game of there is a desire and I try to fulfill it and I get caught in this disappointment or happiness and this desire is going to vanish. There is one more desire, blah blah blah. No. In this game, there might be winning or losing, but I am not concerned. I am in complete bliss of truth. I am with God. Nothing else is needed when I am truly one with God.